Well, hi everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm just going to have a little talk about nature, just a little discussion about the importance of nature. And for me, it's always been about, well, not always, but there came a time in my life when I realized that it's not about connecting with nature, but it's about reconnecting with nature, refinding out, little parts of our story, our origin, where we came from, because, we were born on this planet, as were our ancestors and people that will come after us as well. We'll all be born and, we'll die and we'll live our physical journey on this planet. So therefore, I feel that we are part of the planet. We are part of nature. And the planet feels what we feel. If there's a heavy energy throughout the world, the planet's feeling that, the planet's taking that on. And just like, when something happens to the planet, whether it be a positive thing or whether it be a negative thing, like if it's, even just the natural cycles of Mother Nature, bushfire, flooding, things like that, when we see things like that, we have a reaction to that. We are upset by the damage and the destruction and things like that. And just like when we see positive thing, we might see in person or film footage of an area where there hasn't been rainfall for many years, and then it rains and the whole area just comes to life with flowers and wildlife, and that makes us feel good. It's an excited, it's an uplifting feeling. So I feel we are all connected in that way. We are all energetically linked. Everything we do is energy. What we put out, what we take on board, and everything going on around us is energy. So that's why I feel it's important, not just as spiritual people, but as people in general. That's why I feel it is important to take some time to reconnect to nature. And throughout the course of my little chat today, I will be drawing some cards as well, bringing out some messages in relation to nature and our connection with nature. And I'll be using these cards. I find them quite appropriate given the topic of conversation. Now, I guess finding the time is probably something that is on a lot of people's schedule, finding some time to get out into nature. Now, it doesn't have to be, in my opinion, I feel it doesn't have to be, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a forest or a desert or a deserted island or anything like that. It could be anywhere. It could be your backyard, the park across the road, the park that's 5 minutes walk away, or the bushwalk trail that's near home. It could be anything, but finding some solitude, just finding a quiet place and sitting and just observing nature and just feeling the energy that is nature. And if we think about the energy, it's a real, it is what it is. It doesn't try and disguise itself, or it's a very honest, grounded, healthy, vibrant, growing energy. And also, one thing I find fascinating is that you can look at a landscape, and other than the plants, you don't see anything move or much move. I guess a desert is a good example. It's just sand, and you think, wow, there's not even any life here, but there always is. Even taking an individual tree, how much life does that tree sustain, visible and both not visible to the naked eye? And I feel we're the same. We look at ourselves, or other people look at us, or we look at others, and often, we're just looking at, we are really just looking at the surface. And the more we trust ourselves and the more we nurture ourselves, there's always more. There's always more learning, and there's always more information, and there's always something new that we discover, or we realize that we could do or couldn't do. And there's always something there. There's always a further further connection to ourselves. And I feel nature is the same. You know, the more time we spend in nature, the more we look, the more we explore, the more things we find. And the more connections we find that everything is actually connected. You know, take that one tree away and all the life that depends on that tree is affected. Some of it may not be able to survive, and some of it will have to adapt, and some will have to go elsewhere. But I feel it is just very important to just find that space to sit quietly. And, you know, when we sit quietly, I feel nature's a good listener. If there's something on your mind, something you want to work through, you can work through that in your own mind. And, I read a little quote once, and it said, the person that we talk to the most is ourselves. So, be kind to yourself. And I thought, that's so true. And going into a quiet place, into a quiet space, will take us back to that person, to us, to the individual. Once we clear away all the clutter, all the chatter, and there is a lot of that in life. Television and traffic and noise and things happening. Once you clear all that away, then what starts to come to the surface, what starts to make itself visible and known is, what we need to think about and talk about. And, often we go into a quiet space with a question subconsciously, but you don't realize that until you get into that quiet space. And then, your intuition in your mind takes you to that question that's been on your mind. And nature provides a perfect place to, just to be at one with ourselves, to be comfortable with ourselves, or discover things that, we may not be comfortable with, and then hence begin the process of being more comfortable with those things, because awareness is the first step to healing. So, okay, I'll draw a couple of cards, and I'll see what they have to say in relation to nature and ourselves and our connection or reconnection to nature. Now, you may have seen my first video regarding preparing for a little card reading. So I've just given these cards a little tap just to clear the energy, and I'll just guided to shuffle them a couple more times. One more. I'm guided to draw two to begin with. I'm feeling there may be another one, but we'll go with the two. And, it's not about exactly what is on the card, although that is usually a very good guide. But it's just about trusting and just seeing what messages come out with these cards. Okay. It's pretty much what I've been talking about. So it says, accept the beauty on the bottom, inside and all around you. And it says grace. So I feel just being in nature, just accepting what's around you. And it's also accepting yourself, accepting ourselves as well. Ourselves as part of, the bigger web of life, but ourselves as individuals. And I think the key word is acceptance there, accepting us the way we are. Because, we're all on a journey, we're all on a slightly different journey, and it is a learning journey. And moving forward, requires acceptance of things. But first and foremost, acceptance of ourselves, and being in that quiet space will bring that to our awareness and, make us appreciate ourselves just that little bit more. Okay, and the second card. Okay, so on the top it says determination, and on the bottom it says you know where you are going and you will get there. Now I take that as going into nature, as I was saying before, you may have a question subconsciously, and being in that quiet space, being in nature, will reassure you that what you're doing and where you're going is right for you. if doubt can set in sometimes, usually from the distractions and from doing other things, we can become a little bit disconnected with who we truly are and what we believe in and what we've been working on and focusing on. So often we do get that reassurance. And, if something for you is coming from the heart, from the soul, if you're really feeling that you need to do something, it may be a job, it may be helping people, it may be, whatever it is, a career change, whatever it is. If that's really, really coming from within, I feel being in nature will not only give you the reassurance you need, but also open up other options as well. Because, we do live in a physical world, and we do have responsibilities. And often new ideas at first may seem to clash with those things. You may think, well, how can I possibly do that? I can't do both, or I can't do three things at once. But often if we take the time, to have a think and to go within, usually a solution will present itself. Okay, and the third card, take some time to play, it says, and at the top, playfulness, it says at the top. So, I guess the other thing too with nature is that, it can be a place where you can do that. You may choose to go kayaking, for example, and that could be a fun thing that you enjoy doing. And that is something that is connected with nature. You're out on the water, you're probably on a river or a lake, there's bush all around. And, it is also another good way to connect with nature, as opposed to just, going into the bush and just sitting there and trying to meditate or trying to be still. Some people may find that a little bit more difficult to do than others. But if you are in nature, and you can do something as well that you enjoy, then that's another way to connect with nature and doing something that you enjoy. Just like, I guess, taking a painting with you. If you have a tendency to paint, a good place to do that is out. Could be out in nature for you. You could be painting a scene that's near you, or just painting something else, but being in that quiet space would really let you focus in and really sort of connect with what we're doing. Often we're doing things, but our mind is elsewhere. We're thinking about something else. So I feel being in the moment and being connected is always important. All right, well, I think that's all for today. I really just had a yearning just to talk about nature and the importance of nature, and reconnecting with nature, and remembering where we came from, and acknowledging that, and working within the boundaries of that. So I hope you can all take something from that. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the next video.